Hey, welcome everybody to COVID Creators, our third video. And we are gonna make something really beautiful today. You can make this and frame it or give it away as a card. Just playing around with another one, the blue bonnets, practicing some things with what we've learned before about layering and mixing colors. So this is what we're going to be doing today. I have my paint, a cloth to wipe my brushes on, water, and some brushes, different brushes. And I also have, this is a 6x6 piece of paper. This has just a circle drawn in the middle of it that's going to be kind of our template on where we're going to place flowers and leaves. You don't have to worry about erasing this, it'll get covered up. So let's get started. If you remember, we talked about mixing colors and layering colors, and that's what I did in these examples here. I mixed and I layered and I added some depth here by using a really dark pink there and washing it out into the other petals. I layered here. I just did a lot of wet on wet right here so that it goes out to a very nice color of purple and darker on the ends. And then I added white watercolor right here to do just some highlights, you know, the white pieces that you see on the blue bonnets. And then on this one I used acrylic paint, just cracked open some white acrylic paint and used that. And if you'll notice, the watercolor paint is a little less noticeable than the white, so it just depends on what you want, how you want it to look. Okay, so on this one, what I did is I did the complete circle, just full of flowers. And I thought what we might try on this one is just doing part of it, making lots of flowers up here and bringing the leaves down here, and we'll see how that looks. So let's get our brushes out. I'm going to use this brush right here to start off with, and I think what I'm going to do is make sure it's nice and clean and wet, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to go ahead and do some more blue bonnets. Make them nice. I like the purple color. So we're gonna just make sure that our lots of water in on that. See how much water there is. Now this is gonna be, we're gonna start at the top of the blue bonnet. So we're gonna start right here and we're gonna just press down and lift up. Press down, lift up. And we're going to keep doing that, and we're going to get the nice shape and see how it's lighter to darker. Get more paint if you feel like you want it, and just go across making a nice blue bonnet. More paint, press and lift, press and lift, press and lift. Gonna make sure we have a nice wide bottom right here. So we just keep going across. There we go. Clean our brush. See how easy that is to make a blue bonnet? People think, oh, those are so hard. No, they're not really. They're not hard at all. So now what I'm gonna do is, while that's drying, I am going to go ahead and use a smaller brush, get some white, and I'm going to start making just some leaves around pick a color of green that you like. I kind of like this color. Lots of water. Oops, wrong one. Lots of water in there. Mix and mix and mix. And then I'm going to start right here. And then I'm just going to go around and make some pretty leaves along the edge here. I'm not trying to fill in the whole thing yet, because you can go crazy with these. You can make them so full and so beautiful, or you can make them just very simple. So I'm going to keep going around. Going around. I think I'm going to finish off right there. Okay, that's one set of our leaves, and that's still drying. I can see that it's still a little wet. So let's go in with a different color of green. And I'm going to go in with a little darker green, and we're going to do the leaves for the bluebonnet. And the bluebonnet leaves, we're just going to make a little stem coming down, and we're going to meet those leaves. And then we're going to make another stem, making these a little bit thicker. And then if you see, I'm just kind of wiggling this brush, just wiggling it to make it a little thicker, make it have a little different shape to it. Okay. And then I'm going to stick with that darker color. I'm just going to come in here and just add a few little limb, or I don't know what those would be called, just pieces of stems. And then I'm going to do little smaller leaves right there. And I'm not even sure if this is the way the bluebonnet leaves look, actually. But I'm going to add them anyway. Okay. Now that I'm going to go with a different size brush this time, the same brush, the same brush that I used to do the bluebonnets with. And I'm going to go in with a really kind of a lime green color. Make sure we have a lot of water on that. If you see this right here, I'm using a lot of water on this one. And then I'm going to go in to make some bigger leaves. Gives it a nice kind of depth to it, to have that lighter color along with the darker colors. Whoa. Okay, so if you look right here, what did I do? I messed up. So I'm going to take a clean brush in clean water, and that's still quite wet. So I'm going to get that nice and saturated. And then I'm going to just lift it. So there you go. Easy to fix. Dropped a brush there. All right, so we're gonna add some more things here, and I'm gonna let that dry just a little. Well, it looks pretty dry. So let's get started on those other things. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this larger brush, and let's put some, ooh, I like purple and orange together. And I don't know what kind of berries are orange, or if there are orange berries, but in our picture, we're gonna have some orange berries. So, I'm gonna go in here to fill this in. Just gonna put some little dots here to make it look like there's other little things behind it. Some right there, follow along. There we go. I don't know, maybe that's another little blooming flower. And then we can go in with, I'm gonna use the small brush again, and we're gonna go in with the orange. And we're going to make some little dots. Well, you know what? This is not the right brush for that. I don't like that brush for that. So I'm going to use a larger brush. See how this one works? We're gonna do orange again. There we go. And right in here, put some orange. Don't know what those are, but they're little orange berries or blossoms, something like that, because I like them. Go in here and go back in here. There we go. All right. So what we've done so far is just kind of added things in. We've not really washed things, like combined colors at all. But what we can do now is start doing that. So let's say I want to go into these really, really light leaves, and I want to add a little bit of darkness to them. So that would be easy enough to do. That's layering that on top of the other leaves, giving it some depth. You can go back in with some water also, just a damp brush, and lighten those out if you want. See how we're layering those and mixing those colors. So we actually did two things there. We kind of layered color, and now we're mixing them with a damp brush. There we go. There we go. Now to layer white onto our purple, we're going to go ahead and do the watercolor, because I really like that faint color that it gives. So we're not going to get it too wet. We're just going to get it pretty dry, actually. And we're going to go in with our brush and layer that on just a few leaves, just to give it that white feel to it. Now once that dries, if you would like it a little darker, you can go in with another color and do that, or another layer of white and do that. We can also now, since our leaves are getting dry, we can go in and I'm going to go in with a darker color with that small brush. And going to go in and just lay a little bit of that green down along some of these leaves. Don't have to be all of them, just some of them, just to give a little connectedness to these. And I think what I'm going to do is go into that dark color, and right over in here, maybe right here, I'm going to go out, go out, and layer more little leaves right there using this small brush. So just going to go to the end here, tap, 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 just tap it down. A little bit more of this green, just going to tap in some little leaves right here. There we go. This is just to give you an idea of what you can do. You can fill the whole circle up with this, or you can concentrate it on one side and just bring it simple things around it. On this, the bigger leaves, now that they're dry, I think I'm going to go in with a different color green and see what that looks like. Going to add a little bit of color in there. To see if that helps. It doesn't really, does it? It's a little dark. So let me go in. Well, I think I'm just going to leave it, actually. I think I'll leave it. And just maybe layer some more of that dark on there. So it dries a little bit different. All right, so here we go. Here is our floral wreath. Just try to, as you're doing that, if you look on the leaves that I did here, adding the different color, it gives really cool patterns on the leaves. Layering those colors, that white on top of that purple, is really pretty. You can do that. You can add more. I'll show you. We can add a little bit more of the white, just not making it real wet, but we'll go in there and add a little bit more of the white. Whoops. This turned out a lot more wet. All right. So when that dries, it still won't be as bright as where is it? There it is. It still won't be as bright as this. So that's why I like using the watercolor white. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember the things we made here. You can play with it. You can add as much to the wreaths as you want. They make great gifts. Or you can do as little as you want, like we did here on the wreaths. So these are good gifts. You can make, of course, bookmarks. This would make a great bookmark. And next week, we're going to be talking about textures. We're going to be using some fun things to texture our watercolors with, and it gives amazing, it just looks amazing when the watercolors are dry. So I will see you next week, and I hope you enjoyed it.